Father Jasper, Father Ephus, Brother Dodong, and the personal and staff of this, our network Christian evangelization program, and to you, our brothers and sisters gathered here in our chapel, and above all, mga inigog magsoon, wherever you are gathered, in your houses and your homes, truly showing the Cebuano quality of faith, that even despite surviving the wrath of Typhoon Odette, we still intentionally gather in faith during this Misa de Gallo to offer this Mass to the Lord. People outside the Philippines will call this crazy, but we call this simply being a Cebuano Catholic. In good times and in bad, we worship and we go near to the Lord. First and foremost, our Mass this day will be offered for our healing. The healing of our homes, of our families, as we rebuild from the ruins, as we, with resiliency, cope with this difficult timing of the superstorm during this Christmas season. But above all, grasping with hope, we continue to move forward. So this Mass is for all of us and for all of you. Brothers and sisters, 2 days ago, we were coping with the great wrath of Typhoon Odette. She chose to pass by Bohol and Cebu, of course from Siargao, then Bohol, then Cebu, and the rest of Western Visayas. Kitadyod ang iyang ganahan nga agihan sa iyang pagpaseo during Christmas. And on its trail is left behind great destruction. For those who may not be able to see it, we have now kind of an open, a little bit of a affected ceiling here. Si Father Jasper, nahulugan kahoy ang iyang room. And si Jeff, may band-aid because ang ilang roof gikat-kat man sa hangin, pero at least nagpabilin. Ang uban nag-fly away, Jude, no? As I say this, I know most of us are suffering heavy losses. Even our parish, ang dome, is now also affected heavily because of this storm. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in the midst of all of this pain, we cannot avoid but ask, how can we relate this to our faith and even to the Holy Family? Most often for us, Misa de Gallo is just about the nice image, and rightly so, because we must celebrate the Christmas season with joy. But today, the Typhoon Odette presents a very different perspective that invites you and me to see Christmas on a deeper light, perhaps. That one person told me, ingon niya, Father, he told me it's so difficult to connect to the Holy Family. I asked why, and he said, precisely because they're holy, and I am not. You know, when you look at the picture behind me, it's like a perfect portrait of a family. And he was telling me, my family is messy. I quarrel with my wife every so often. Oops, may bato-bato sa langit, no? I have problems with my children. They don't understand me. I only want the best for them. And then it's so hard to discipline them away from TikTok and computers. And in all of this, there are a lot of other struggles to bring food to the family. And so he said, they are a holy family. Mine is called messy family. And so there's a disconnect. And much more now. How can we connect to the Holy Family? The narrative of the birth of Jesus seems to be very perfect. But brothers and sisters, Typhoon Odette really was scraping and removing the roof in the National Shrine of Mandaue. And the process of scraping off the first level can either leave us bitter or can help us see the deeper dimension of things. Why am I saying this? Come to think of it, if you join me in contemplation, the Holy Family is holy not because it's perfect. The Holy Family is holy precisely because they responded to the will of God even in the worst of times. Did you listen to the meaning beneath the words? Or did you read between the lines? We say that in English. The gospel tells you and me that even at the start of the birth of Jesus, there was an experience of intrigue and controversy. There was an experience on the side of Jesus of a perceived betrayal by the one he loves. Of course, you imagine the one that you're betrothed to already carrying a child, and you have not even lived together yet. So imagine the pain that it created in the heart of Joseph. And remember this, even in the birthing of Jesus, it was done not in the comfort of their home. It was done while they were in Bethlehem. And they too suffered discrimination, and they suffered pushed to the edge. You know, karon nga may typhoon, we have to relocate to a neighbor's house or to look for a safe shelter. Jesus did the same. They took shelter in a cave, and there among the animals in the stable on a manger, not so hygienic in our modern standards, Jesus was born and was laid there after he was born. Brothers and sisters, even after this, Joseph had to flee to Egypt, the purpose of which is to protect the Holy Family. They suffered famine. They suffered loneliness. For the OFW who could not be with us now, Jesus and the Holy Family understands your loneliness, your longing to be with your loved ones. And so even that, and then going back, there you go, going back by the command of the angel to go back again here, and then in the land of Nazareth and to rebuild their lives. Can you imagine being uprooted, the travails of a migrant worker, and then reestablishing again, finding work again, finding food for the Holy Family? Joseph underwent all these pain. And so, my brothers and sisters, why am I narrating? Not to really do a litany of woes, but to invite you and me that perhaps the Holy Family is closer to our families more than we can ever think. Don't you agree? If you suffered pain, if you suffered all these struggles, especially now that we see our roof blown away and we can see the stars. Maayo lang kung stars, kung ulan, lisod kaayo. Brothers and sisters, when we are now experiencing these difficult times of rebuilding, then we understand that the Holy Family is very close to our experience. Now, there is one verse there that I would like to emphasize that is very important. And Father Jasper read that, and he said, proclaiming to our hearing, and God is Emmanuel. God dwelt among us. In our pains now, in our losses, God is with us. Can you repeat that, please? God is with us. This means that the God is not floating there in theory and uninvolved, but God is really closer to us than we can ever think. When we cry over our house that crumbled, God cries with us. When our hearts are crushed, thinking, what will I do next? Christmas pa. God shares that pain. And when you feel the brunt of the responsibility of carrying your family through these difficult times, then remember the Holy Family suffered crisis after crisis too. But God dwells among us. God is with us. This is the story of Christmas. And perhaps even for a reason to become bitter, this can become a reason to become better. From bitter to better Christian disciples. We may have less, but we can have more in terms of understanding the mystery of incarnation. Why? Because Jesus is precisely born in the midst of our mess. Jesus is born in the midst of our struggles and our pain. Jesus is born in the midst of all the storms in our lives. And no storm can take that away from us if we declare in faith during this Christmas season that every Cebuano faithful and the rest of the Philippines can say, Jesus is with me even in the storm. God is with us. That is why you are still here. That is why we still have Misa de Gallo in churches even though there's brownout. That is why those who cannot attend can access this through the television or internet, because we believe God is with us. Brothers and sisters, yesterday I was clearing the entrance. We started with 4, but slowly those who are selling candles joined us. And so we cleared the entrance and the exit of debris and the trees and the glasses that fell down from the roof. And so we cleared the church so that people can worship again. Amazingly, Father Efos was scheduled at 12 o'clock. They asked us, will we cancel the Mass? And we responded, when people come, even though 1 or 2, we will continue celebrating the Mass because it's our duty. And people came even at 12 o'clock. In the afternoon, people still came for the Misa de Gallo anticipated. And still today, early in the morning, we are gathered. Why? Because we would like to declare that God is with us. Let me now conclude. God is with us when we gather to pray. God is with us when we support our neighbor and help one another. God is with us when you have extra resources, share it with the least. God is with us when we lend a hand as we rebuild one another and one another's homes and one another's properties. When we do this, then perhaps the Holy Family is not so far from our messy family. In the storm, we experience strength, stability, anchor, and resiliency to move forward because we hold on with joy. God is with us. God is Emmanuel. God is with us. So help us, God.